All right, everyone, welcome. Today, we're going to break down a teaching method that is so simple, so intuitive. It's literally unlocking the English language for people who thought it was completely out of reach. We're digging into a YouTube channel that is just rethinking the whole learning process from the ground up. I mean, just think about that for a second. What if learning a huge global language felt just as natural and easy as speaking the dialect you grew up with at home? That's the big idea we're going to explore today. So, the first thing you have to understand about this whole approach is that it's built on one core belief. Language learning should be for absolutely everyone. No exceptions, no gatekeepers. And the creator is crystal clear about this. This isn't just for students sitting in some fancy classroom. Nope. It's for farmers in the field, it's for homemakers, it's for people living in remote villages or way out in the mountains. The only thing you need to bring to the table, the will to actually learn. That's it. So, what's the secret sauce here? Well, instead of teaching English from a stuffy old textbook, the entire class is taught in Moroccan Darija. That's the local Arabic dialect spoken all across Morocco. And right away, that just shatters the biggest barrier for most people: fear. The new language suddenly feels familiar, and you can understand it right from the get-go. But it's not just about what language he teaches in, it's also about what he prioritizes in the lessons themselves. And believe me, the instructor has a very, very clear philosophy on this. He's convinced that really mastering English is a perfect 50-50 split. You've got 50% grammar, the rules you gotta learn, and a super important 50% for pronunciation. I mean, think about it. What good are all the rules in the world if nobody can understand what you're saying? It's all about speaking with real confidence. And this whole philosophy is held up by four really powerful pillars. First, keep everything simple. Second, use the local dialect, of course. And maybe most importantly, build every lesson around repetition and give students tons of time to actually practice what they're hearing. Okay, so for learners in this part of the world, there's this really common roadblock. It's more of a myth, really, that holds so many people back before they even start. This is the question the instructor hears all the time. Because of history and culture, a lot of people just assume that French is this mandatory stepping stone to learning English. They think if their French isn't perfect, well, they've got no shot at English. And the instructor's answer is so direct, it's just awesome. A huge, myth-busting no. He's emphatic about it. English is its own language. It has no relationship with French or any other language for that matter. You can start from absolute zero. And when he says you can start from the basics, he really means the basics. So let's take a look at how this all works in practice by breaking down the very first lesson anyone would ever take, just learning the ABCs. So instead of just throwing all 26 letters at a brand new student all at once, which, let's be honest, would be totally overwhelming, he breaks them down. This goes right back to that keep it simple rule. The whole alphabet is split into 3 easy, manageable little groups. And here's how he does it. Each letter is said slowly, clearly, and then there's a pause. That little pause is everything. It's an invitation. It's the time for the student to repeat the sound out loud, to practice it, and to build that muscle memory before he moves on to the next one. It's so simple, but man, is it effective. So once you've got the letters down, the instructor introduces a really crucial concept. It all comes down to 5. Just 5 specific letters that are basically the key to everything. And those 5 letters are, of course, the vowels. He explains that these are the essential building blocks. You literally cannot form words in English without them. By pointing them out and explaining why they're so important, he gives learners this fundamental key to unlock the whole language. Okay, so you've got the letters and you know about the vowels. What's next? Well, now it's time to see how all these individual sounds get built into actual meaningful words. And here we are, right back to his core belief. It's not enough to just know the letters. The instructor is always stressing that a language only comes alive when you're doing it. The most important thing is practice and application. Theory means nothing without it. And his method for practice is just as simple and direct as everything else he does. The student sees the word on the screen, usually with a picture, then they hear the instructor spell out each letter, nice and slow, and then they're prompted to repeat the whole word. See it, hear it, repeat it. That's the loop. He also quickly goes over another fundamental concept that can easily trip up beginners. This whole idea that each letter has 2 different forms. But he doesn't use a bunch of confusing jargon. He just calls them capital letters, or the big letters, and lowercase, the small letters. It's a clear, simple distinction. So let's see this in action. For a word like home, he'll slowly say H-O-M-E, And then home. He does the same thing for pen and for book. This simple exercise is what forges the connection between the letters and the words they create. This is where it all stops being abstract and becomes totally concrete. The genius of this whole method isn't some complicated new theory. It's just profound simplicity. It takes this huge, intimidating goal of learning English and smashes it into a series of small, achievable steps. Each one is a little victory that builds your confidence. And that leaves us with a much bigger question, doesn't it? This whole thing isn't really just about learning English. It's a model for how to make knowledge accessible to literally everyone, no matter their background or where they live. And it makes you wonder, what other barriers could we break down if we just focused on meeting people where they are?